Still within the bubbly mode, we're bringing you the lifestyle segment as usual, and today's segment is a special one. Have you ever heard of anyone holding a PhD in one of Ghana's strongest languages called Twi? Allow me to just tell you about it, okay? So our guest today is one of Ghana's very illustrious and cherished broadcasters. She is Dr. Nana Enima Wiafe-Akenten. She is a trailblazer in Ghanaian media and education. She served as the former head of the Akan Nzema department at the College of Education, Languages Education, at Jumaho Campus University of Education, when it currently serves with the University of Media Arts, GIJ. And she has made history as the first person to earn a PhD in Twi language, TWI, Twi language, one of the major Akan dialects. And she's no stranger to the media space. From 2003 to 2013, she worked with GTV as a news anchor, hosted the popular culture and tradition program, A Memory Fee, on Asempa FM, and also led the Akan News Division at the top radio and Radio Universe right here in Accra, Ghana. So today, I go on an English holiday as I come home and say, Doc, more power.
Yeah, niabemena.
Splendid, splendid, splendid. You actually embody the culture and heritage of Africa as a daughter of the soil. How do you feel about that?
It feels great because it's been a passion, and I have followed it till now. And I said it feels great. I am happy because it wasn't something for myself, but to share with Ghanaians in general. Whether an ethnic group of an Ewe, Ga, Dagumba, the northern languages, Dagari, Gadangbe, Akan, as in the Twi, the Fanti, the Bono, sharing knowledge and always reminding us that we have a cultural heritage. We have this legacy that our forefathers left for us that embodies our knowledge, our wisdom, our pride, knowledge with things around us that can be utilized to the benefit of our society, sort of way of speaking etiquette for our children, a way we bring them up with Ifie, Nyansa, sort of, all of that are needed for us to use whilst we are governing, we are building our country, and also for our economic development in terms of tourism and all of that. In general, to value what we have as we also work with it to make ends meet.
Absolutely.
Yes.
The biggest question at the moment is why, amongst all the PhD areas, you chose Twi language? What inspired you?
It started from childhood in primary school. My first inspiration was my dad. He was the late dad, Uncle Biahene of Akwetia.
Okay.
And before then, my grandfather was also Ochiame Kwejo Donkoyeboa. Yeah, was also the first Ochiame of Akwetia. So I'm from traditional home. Yes, and our first chief, Ohimin Kwetia, he was a broadcaster, news anchor on GTV. Yes, so anytime he was on air and we were sitting watching our chief, I was so inspired. I was like, hey, Misumini Adache, you may be a made me krum kasa. She said, you may choosing a career that I'll be using my mother tongue, then there's a need to learn and acquire more knowledge than just speaking. So it started from there. And I was fortunate, I pursued it from primary. I attended St. Rose's Secondary School. Yes, so at St. Rose's, I was interested in languages. So I offered, I think, French, English, literature, then Twi. Yes, and we had a very good, loving mother teacher, Miss Opoku, she was there. So the interest grew. And after St. Rosie's, I pursued, I was able to, pass, entered university where I met people like Professor Jekun, Professor Yanka, Prof. Dolphine, Professor Sam and all of that. And I was like, hey, and then say trees and pennyfoot teacher ne so yet linguistics, yeah, can linguistics. So the interest grew from there and I pursued it, to that level. And fortunately, when I entered university too, I joined radio. I had the opportunity to join Radio Universe as well. So I was a producer for Prof. Ejekun Efisem. And Efisem actually started this morning show that we use the Akan, the indigenous language. That is where we started at Radio Universe, Efisem, Professor Ejekun. And I was a producer, being mentored. So that is how we started, taking inspiration from my lecturers, and then we realized that, my passion, interest, career interest of becoming a broadcaster, and then a teacher, lecturer, and if I want to use my mother tongue, there's the need to learn it, not just speaking, but in-depth. I need to get in-depth knowledge and understanding. So that is how the dream started, and this is where I have come to with a PhD in Ghanaian language. But my concentration was language, media, social, political use of language, social-cultural context, usage of language. It's sort of under ethnography of communication.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Dr. Wiafe-Akenten, I want to present this matter to you. Today, we have had so many stories that Africa, Ghana, we have sold our heritage. Today, we are being led to study somebody's language and impersonate somebody's lifestyle, which is not used to us. China did Chinese. The others, India did India. Why are we now doing English? Don't you think you are on the island alone? How do you feel the stigma?
Interesting. I think before a couple of years back, people used to look down on our languages, especially some of us who had interest and were pursuing it. Some people ask, Inti Oba investing to me in course and some will ask, hey, Inti a rough fair saying to
one we ask.
The rough fair saying Oba investing to me in your course. I don't know how a rough and then the learning of Ghanaian language, but that tells us the extent to which we look down upon what we have, our own.
Yes.
So it's felt somehow sometimes discouraging. But now I say that with the proliferation of the radio stations that broadcast in our indigenous languages, especially the Akan, learning the language is not anything that you feel shy of or you'll be looked down upon. Now people have come to understand that even you don't just need competence, proficiency or fluency in it to be able to use it in your field of work or career. You really need to learn into the syntax of it, the structure, of the languages like the English. You need to learn the semantics of it, the choice of words. If you learn the semantics and then the pragmatics of the word, of the language, and you want to radio so but kasia because na papa netimi ewu. It's not say learning the syntax, the semantics of it, the pragmatics of the language, to me is not something of volition. Obin to me shut down. I just wa to ne kon wa sign ho. Nti say wasua Akan na say wasua o mother tongue na the structure just like we learn the English. Unim say ebre we ade emu odu ye ka se tam ade emu oha ye ka se fa. Ena se accident si kwahwe se nipa etumi yewuwu se ni America no nipa ntumi nwu sa right ebi on so ka were hu ofe sebe there be sebe strategic communication sebe ya de efe So what I'm trying to say is that we look down upon it, but it's a subject area, it's a course area, it's a field that you need to learn to be able to be competent in the use of the language. Now, I mean, in the media, apart from the insult and all of that, look at a time we had what we call politics of insult, you know, where political campaign people were just insulting, you know, so where's kasa no na ukana usunya we no mu nyina wonim say panimu yendi natam okay udi natam a ye yenim gwase ebre wabusuafo no yenso ye spiritual there's an implication udi pani atam a wote wo nkwaso even bible kra wom nanso enehwe yen hyeda nka ye kasa na yensua saa niama we nyina nti no ama yenteteye there's wisdom, there's knowledge, there's a traditional way, wisdom, wise way aye nananom, you know, utilize all these omudi boo mind, edited say ye, efa ye kasa ho, can we, men can we, ye yang kasa as is in the English. As English, you say, if you are speaking, you should know who, where, how, usia kan kasa na, with the pragmatics, with the ethnography of communication, the field that I did. Oh, kasa so who bre. Who kasa, you know, time in the morning, who presenting news, na say, yen ananum no money nyansa pa in the morning, who presenting news, na say, uwu asem, and I say, bibi fa, yane, Prophet Jekun scatological flutes, sebi intesio, and I say, Johnson yane, anopetutu to be didi. Into no boss idea, no so man no moto, into yeso to sebi natures idea na ebano, time, into ne sebie. Inti me ba baby sana be hu se na se bi na ya se na ye ne ya no wa ma na duro sin se o kai na watra na watro keke so ho inti no ne kasa ni suamu no nso no ye twi kasa de na so we also have what we call oneye ene oniso crowd de kasa a ma obitimi hu o kasa na chi se we na o pa kira na se we na pese o kan ni nyina twi na mesua na wo mu ethnography of communication na wo mu. So what we call the prosodic aspect of the language and then the kinesthetic aspect of the language. And into am penifo ka say to de bia oneye kra ka asem esen wano ade kan eto de bia onisuo ne kwa ade kan asem ne kwa no oneye a ode kan no anasa asempɔte na wo kan no kwa no enisuo ne ma yehu ne a wo pa kire na chi and the tire na ta wo campaign political anasa you know, a man named Mamu and Tim, and also into the prosodic and the kinesthetic aspect. Nina, Ubesia Winina, Cinnamon who said, be a wee bian, Ukranim dear, ewo kasa, wa mamre, na boa with Juma, no one who send any pabi dinky tahu, no one who bre, be a ye nipa no mokasa qua, send your becanafa.
In fact, all those who were saying that, hey, Oba, come and apologize. Because the prosodic and the kinetic effect, you know, you need to embody the language.
Yes. You need to learn.
Dr. Wiafe-Akenten, did you also appreciate the part, all said and saying, we the youth of these days, I kind of say, society na boy bros, any boy and bro. And cheche ya o cheche, in fact, ye kasano, said ye be kano. Said ye bet to me a shet bia no putting ya canon na and wa benyam no cry a yasam. Na and no a juma a fee a quintuity. I will for cram to me yam branch yam mano said ye casa. See ye carney with you sooner a coto upon us so in swear to into say ye casa bia say a woman a Santini and I say I was born in a Santina with me take casa and then put bit you cotton to ma. No, I got to okoto to man ni panse e go home or there could be birthday na go impelling for one was then I was shade aba hey and also
and I make a ye kasa no so e bi ensenkyere ne ye kasa o esa sen toma na hodo no so no nyina duku kura obebo ene se ne wafa wo ho nyina wa asekyere enti no entoma ne wakobo duku na wo kompanifo ana ahemfie na wakobo duku na odi akere wachi no eno no ye frɛ ne sɛ sebi duku na se che ne bi kwase bi de machi ebi on so aye chia na frɛ ne sebi memfi ta enti no wakɔ akɔ boduku we na de kwa ahemfi a ye bedi watam ana sɛ ye bebi da na ya na ne ha adwen ne sɛ ye mmisa sɛ na wayo na we ofifie ben mu ne maame ne hwan ne papa ne hwan adan na ya ntitu yi Nti we nyina ya de a se wonim a onkoye. Se wonim na woye ne ese woye na fa ho wa ho fa de no. Aha, waye ne kama se ne o se na wrai ana branti ofi he. Na ne abie pa ya tete ne ofie pa o na aka wo ne wabusuafo nyina. Nti ya de a onkofa ntoma bi a chom se hu nya me hu. Na de akọ mpani anim a na asa ahemfie wo wanya asem a wodi fo no. Na wasan akọ akọfa ntoma hu nya me hu. E de akọ ahemfie ye bebo oka. Nyenso nka wonim a anka ba ye ne a edi ahobrase kwa ne aka bi ama wo e na wafa ho akọ akodi. Nti we num nya ya de ehia se nsuo no a wo ka sei nsuo no o ka so say da ipo
ade a emu o hande emu de risi ho ne de to ho
ye woni ade si woni de eno ye pragmatics no aha ebre era obeka asem bi ebedi dwuma bi a nsunsuanso a ohwehwe papa no o ka asem bi a ana asemfo bi a ne a ohwehwe se obenya nsunsuanso papa no ubenya ne a opese utiefo ne yema no obetimi aya ama wo yemfa nso oba bi ne okunu wo ho na wohia ade a no akwakoje no under pragmatic under honorifics akrokro ni adefe kasa na ohia bibia no akwa mira da no akora ni school fees na aka so betua no won say time ko da wontu ya obeka ma menwe me ho me ka say metua de menye ska sweetheart mira pacho na akora na fee no ebre ko wonim say sanso kwa anya ne apam no wakai me wo de mebo modin ayema so when no surprise say ne ofa kasa ani so ade kan ye nsemfu ade kan ye sani a wohwe hu nipa ne na kasade ebu ne ane die no saa no so be ya ama wo nti ne nyina ye theory yesua wo akan kasam ne ameka ho asem we say under speech act ene ye ne sani aka asem no nti wo ka asem no speech act so wo aha nti no ne ye locutionary ne a wo ka ene ne a wanka say mfiwa nu ma wo ka nti twi no mesua we nya efe no kasa nsunsanso kasapa edin sunsanso paba kasabone edin sunsanso muaye bone ene bebro
twentwasoma mwate yen kanokwa we don't just say it, you have to understand it. Stay with us, we'll be right back. It's Twi in Scoop.
Hello Africa, keep watching AAU TV, the voice of higher education in Africa.
This program is proudly sponsored by Venom Mineral Water, Share the Love, and Bigo Drinks. This program is proudly sponsored by Venom Mineral Water, Share the Love, and Bigo Drinks.
It's been an interesting moment with Dr. Nana Enima Wiafe-Akenten. She is a lead in languages at UNIMAC GIJ. And so, Doc, you have actually established, I would say, a very compelling premise about language, its essence, significance, and understanding to everybody who speaks it. And the Twi language, whether we like it or not, is a dominant language in Ghana that can't be overlooked. So one way or the other, within our business, political, social, somebody would speak Twi just to get understanding driven to a group of people. So it's important that you have this background, very deep rooted in the language, and also implore others to do so as well. Let me just switch. Today, with your current role at UNIMAC, what do you seek to achieve with the students, and what are you trying to drive right into them and into that world of work with the Akan language and its diverse features around it?
Okay, yeah. So with UNIMAC School of Languages and then the journalism and NAFTI, three of us together, yes, we are starting language, Akan language usage and culture. It's not only for the Akan. We're starting with Akan, but gradually we will move to Ewe language. We will move to Ga, Gadangbe, the 7, let me say, standard Ghanaian languages that we use. When I was, I don't know, I was a Akan news presenter on GTV. Okay. So those were the languages that we were using, which represented the other regions. Yeah. So we are starting with Akan. We are starting this program where, people of all background, we are targeting the Akan, the indigenous language broadcasters, yes, to come and pursue this short course. Yes, but it's not only for Akan, as I always say. If we get students in Ewe, Ga, Ewe, I teach voice and speech as well. Phonetic pronunciation of the indigenous languages. Yes, so with the Akan, how to pronounce, as if we all say dabi, debi, vowels, so how to pronounce them correctly as well. So with interestingly, I teach a student, Ga student, Dagomba Dagari student, phonetics, general. Great. Yes, so whatever I do, I don't do only Akan. My mother tongue is Akan, but I don't do only because it's for Ghana. Yes, so I encourage the other ethnic groups. So sometimes I teach the other languages as well. So when I'm teaching phonetics in Ghanaian language, and then even the students, I ask them, say, ewe. I said, Debbie, yenka ewe. When I say ewe, like, ohene tobi apede, nedine yeka tobi afede, but apede. So all of that we learn. So when it comes to UNIMAC School of Languages, we teach phonetics, pronunciation, we teach usage, knowing the cultural background, cultural context of speaking. So, and then, when we starting with the certificate course, we'll move to the BA program in Ghanaian language and English, right? And then we are also preparing for master's program. We are working on all of that, where, when you come, if you are using the knowledge in broadcasting, even in the medical field, which field that you are, you can offer the certificate course to learn the Akan language and usage. You may not need to do a degree in that. Yeah, but if you want an expertise in the field, we have BA programs, we have MA programs where you can offer Akan and journalism, especially for the local language broadcasters. Yes, where you learn all that I was talking about, to have competence in the usage of the language. You have knowledge in the syntax, the semantics, the pragmatics, the stylistics aspect. But there's a way we do it as well. For instance, if it is news, you are a newspaper, you are presenting news. News is serious business. Unlike other programs, be a interesting, like other social programs. So for instance, you should have that knowledge that when you are presenting news, and even kasano, kasana ububea, and a chair say, unim kasano wanwate, ne adintu de benen and them na disi asem sudiana di trasutiawa, now ma some near the ne ni kasu a tea for any bejeho. Name in news because it's serious business. Offer a best short, tietia, a hoyenfa a betting thing where you use the proverb in the news and news is brief, straight to the point, and use a long proverb, it will distort the message. News, you are communicating, you are sending a message. Sure. So it should be brief. Sure. For emphasis. Sure. You don't have to do embellishment. And ya hona openya jekum ko se enya ye nkrodo kire dem fiafia ho na ye kan na papa no be hwe no wasumpi ne ho na ne be hwe hulalala ebi okwa ne ye tunyum nyina wo. News is serious. Oh, can't say a betiawa. No man penny so a didija, any munan and nam to bear na famudia, so be a benya na famudia. And ya feel na becasena or man penny can answer no say, as so a cranes and so a cranes so a cranes so a cracon crona, why there be news and yes, sir. It makes the information hard to process. You are communicating, sending message, but you divert your audience attention to be thinking, trying to understand the proverb rather than concentrating on the news, the information you are putting out there. And it's ubesua stylistics ni we no in it. And it makes you competent. Ubekam MIA nika Emma TF when you home my yode. Emma Jaw station, what we call usually near my tires for business purpose where sometimes you want to do the scoop or sometimes it is the style of the station. It may be your style, but there's a way you do it a better fine, a better decent, and market of professionalism. Until we are collaborating. If you come to UNIMAC, yeah, share courses near there. You know, previously, Dr. Japan, I was listening, she was talking about HR and political communication.
Yes.
Yeah, we also do that where time will come where you say a do campaigner, politicians of Omoka Yokrum Kasa. Omobano can ask them said they on cabro food or Veka Yokrum Kasa, Bessia, near on ye a can crabons a usia tree in Crobebio or Dodo nights in Mika. Once and your tree, no, so no. Oko anguna mwemwa opese oka anguna kasa ne kakra ne ade enti usua we nyina no eno nso no edu baabi a ese usua the mother tongue the Ghanaian language ne kakra ne momenye se usua ne kane keke ese usua the style the speech acts theory the cultural context of speaking enye se opese o ka twi no na emo beka bibia keke edu baabi a eja ugina e Christopher mu a you know the approach avoidance strategy or unko kase oh menu animal Christopher monto mame na eja Muslims non so wo inti abusiafo madaro mamaba monto mame inti unya kase Christopher ntoma wa na Muslims wo no so eja omumu inti no eja you use the camaraderie strategy menu animal Christopher and you could do Muslim moms. Many are no Muslim for winning power with Tikopa, Trimpa, so you're Muslim. But it is a camaraderie strategy. I will busia with them because you are pleading with them. Internal, Must be party. Oh, Taleminia, why did the men found go? Even in cancer in radio discussions, sometimes phone in Brew Hono. Most of that, oh, Bemena, Wadaroma, would near you knew. Inti ene de mabe ma menchia mebusia pani or start say your bomb running be na uni ani no utima ya ode honorifics ye nyina ka ni nyina sua twi linguistics no enti no won se no de afam na asem obeka no no wakako ni nya ye political language politics the stylistics the ni nyina pragmatics strategy that you need to learn unima you know how to use it, where to use it, who to use it for, how to handle it in such a way say u de jiduma ne kra no u de be dijuma ye na wanya locational response ni awo asem na aka no wanya hu muaye ne nsunsan so papa ti we nyina ye be ka bom ne ache ti UNIMAC I tell you it should be the first in always if you looking at language whatever content that you want to use it for in your career. We should be the first.
Yes. Why are there? Panama date 28 April 2025. First, I will catch you with TV so. One control to her. Ma catch you with TV so then. Obahima.
Yes.
Yen bonnet say. So be say, ya wo me akani. Ya wo me akani nti me ye. Betumi afa. Betumi akabiara. E debe na onu akro no. Or money free ho so feel say me akani. I didn't think that some ko sua kan. I said, "I'm going to see a moon some never some dollars." I didn't know that corner or the refi. Catch it.
And the refi say, Bibia, so unim crana, ese unyanim dia emudo, a woman. And so we are can ote casa, yes, and yet danta, ene danta, and any idea a wanos. Into no unim, now to me kaka no watia. Na u di dwuma bi na wo hia mu nimdie mu da eno nti ne ye nyina akosua de mi ze se nkaja me fia hemfia metete me nana ne me papa nom na ase na ehu hia se me san akosua nanso me hwe hu do akire se edu ba bi a me hia mu nimdie na me de aye madwuma na me de na enya me nko awu na me de be kira de me de be man ya che so wo hwe nso empempie no nso eba ye kasa no se ye refi ye ho a betaka ho asempa se ye besua abon afoforo de kwa ye nsua ye de no esan se nimdie bi wo mu nimdie mapa nimdie bunu nyansa bunu a emudo a se wunim a nso bi o ya tete ne ofia o kabrofo kra na se uhu sane ne kasa ne dimin ane ne ye ne sane o kautimu se ya tete ne ofie so onim nyansa o ka fie nyansa ya na yo madwen se usua krom kasa on tebrofo me tomato me da ni bisam so na we de obeka brofo na abeka twi na maka so kasa bia obese o ka bia eto bia kasa osun akrom kasa na se bi ni mo nyansa ne ade nanso se wahwa titum panifo no even politicians in panifo mo titum o ka brofo kra na utumu se nyansa kasa bi a emu do ene radio so ama ye hu so se nipa bi ho mo nte brofo no nanso ka o ma ne kwan onya akwanya na o ka ne krom kasa na utumu se onim de onim nyansa onim fie nyansa wa hu enti no de bia meka se ye sua de bia na nka ye sua ye krom kasa no se ye eve se eye ga se eye gadangbe se eye dagare dagumba kasem ukrom kasa no eye akan fante eye bono kasa anase asante ekuapem yensua ni nyina na ebeboa yen wo ye adwuma yem
Enalope Dr. Nana Enima Wiafe-Akenten ama yate ase se okasa ma okasa wo hia wate na tie ase na sua ho ade
yentete ye mofra no
sa nyamrema mofra tete wo ye na hwa se bro so afom ko UNIMAC for share Dr. Nana Enima nsa
Bemena
onyoma
oh
ohima ya mi
waka sebna mayede Bemena mpa
in fact
why are dear
wa kura amamra no mu ma wani age na be ka say be ya say yan me so wo
yeah that's all
what. All right, thank you very much for watching. The segment will come to you shortly through this break. Stay with us, right back.